So what's up, everyone? It is your girl JL Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into brands that you're sleeping on that you shouldn't. So in today's episode of brands that you're sleeping on that you shouldn't, I want to start off with a big bang. This is one of the brands that I feel like people were really talking about, raving about, absolutely in love with for quite a while, and they had one miss and everybody just, you know, kind of side-eyed them and went over their life and didn't really check for the brand anymore. And I think that you should. So you need to stop sleeping on none other than my girl Raine, or the owner of Colored Raine, the brand Colored Raine. You need to stop sleeping on Colored Raine. Colored Raine is out here giving, serving, living, giving you all the things. Now I'm gonna start off with a couple of the older palettes of, you know, the formula that everyone was used to and fell in love with from the brand. So of course this is one of my all-time favorite rainbow palettes. This is actually a fresh one. Mine got so old and dried out, so I had to go buy another one. But guess what? I sure did, because I love this palette. I love this brand. This is the Colored Raine Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. What she looks like on the inside. I actually have not used this yet. I have a video in mind for using it though, because I'm gonna use like an all shimmer palette and battle all shimmer palette, gets another all shimmer palette, because you know I live for a battle. So I will be using this sometime in the near future, but I'm showing it to you fresh for once, so you don't have to see the gross, dirty, disgusting one I used to have. I gave it away to my cousin in Wisconsin when I went to visit her for Thanksgiving. But this is what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. I remember people going crazy over this. When I first got to YouTube, they still had it in, like, in the individual like singles, and they had put it in a little palette and you could buy it, and then they turned it into this palette because people were so crazy and obsessed with it. So it's like, don't forget where you came from. Now you got these Blend Bunny palettes. You came from this Vivid Pigments and this Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette from Colored Raine. Because I remember everybody was raving about this. Everybody wanted to have it. It kept selling out. They kept having to restock it. Don't forget where you came from, okay? I didn't forget where I came from. Don't forget where you came from. This palette is fire. I still love it. I'm still happy to have it in my collection. I'm just interested to see if the formulas on all the old palettes are going to stay the same, or if it's going to be more of that newer formula that they have going on now. And I'm not talking about the Juicy Boost formula. I'm talking about like the new formula they have in some of the newer palettes. I'm going to show you in a few moments. So the next palette I have to show is the Colored Raine Safari Raine palette. Again, another banger. Everybody's checking for it. Everybody's thirsty about it. Everybody's running out to get. So this is that classic like summer vibes, and it's set up just like, you know, each row, you know, you can use it for. So this is your cool tone row if you want to do a quick smoky eye. This is your green row, and this is your orange row. Or if you just want to combine the green and orange row together, which is what I do a lot of the time, then you can do that as well. But this was a stunning palette. This was limited edition. They kept having to bring it back because everybody wanted this. They still bring this back periodically. I'm assuming it's in the same formula. Don't quote me because I'm not 100% sure on that. But you need to stop playing and stop acting like Colored Raine ain't out here doing things and they didn't do things in the past. They got things in the present too that we're going to get into in a minute. I just want to start off with a couple of the staples that I feel like people used to rave and be crazy about and absolutely love. I didn't bring the Queen of Hearts palette just because it's like, I think literally their very first palette. I wanted to bring some of the ones that they keep that I feel like are still raved about and someone talked about now. Although I have heard people still talking about that palette, I just wanted to bring some of my personal favorites from the old school. And y'all know I'm more of a colorful girl, and that one to me seems to be like more neutral with like a pop of purple, and I wasn't really feeling it. Although that's just a pop of green palette I just showed, I'd be more inclined to use that one than I would be to use the Queen of Hearts, which is why I didn't show it. So now let's get into some of the newer ones, because you like and talk about where the formula has gone to versus where it was, because that Safari Raine palette, the formula that is still stunning and absolutely wonderful. Now we have these Chic collections. So I have Pretty Chic and Wealthy Chic. So this is just their version of monochromatic palettes, if you will. So this is like the pink and purple. To me, this is the black girl friendly version, or like the black owned brand version of the Sweet Shop palettes, and they just called it Chic because this reminds me of the Cotton Candy palette, except the tones in here I feel like are deeper, and it has like this reddish pink as opposed to just like pinks and purples like that one did. That one had, I feel like that one was a little more purple heavy than pink heavy, and I feel like this was more pink heavy than purple heavy. This shadow in here is so soft and putty, like it's really hard to pick up on a brush. It's definitely more of that creamy emollient super shadow type formula, if you will, and it's even softer than those, so it's like it's hard picking this up on a brush. But the color is simply stunning, and the reflect that's in it and all that, and the formula on this is actually really good. It's not like it's, you know, what it used to be from them, but it's not, you know, bad to the point where it's like you shouldn't, you know, check on it, you shouldn't buy it, you shouldn't look for them. Next we have the Wealthy Chic. Let me go ahead and show it. Now this is the green lover's dream. In my personal opinion, it gives you all these different forms of green, which I think is good because it's like you have your dark outer V shade, you have your transitioning shade. You can dust this one over this shade, and then you can put this one on your brow bone, or if you prefer to put a matte in your inner corner, you can. And then you have these two nice shimmers to choose from, because I would personally, like the way I described it, I would use this as my outer V shade. I would dust this one in the crease. I would dust this over the one that's in the crease. I would probably put this one on my brow bone, and I would put this shimmer all over the lid, and this is my inner corner. That would be my 6 color eye look with this palette. You don't have to use all 6 personally. You could just do like a matte look and put this on the outer V, and then put this all over your lid, and put this in your inner corner. That I feel like that could be a nice look too. But I feel like if you like monochromatic palettes, this could be a good green monochromatic palette for you. The shimmers in here are really nice, and it gives a good wide variety of greens, in my personal opinion, that I like, because it goes from light to dark, and I like to have a good gradient of light to dark. So I feel like that's why it's a good palette. I would recommend the Wealthy one more than I would the Pretty Chic one, just because y'all know I'm more into greens than I am into pinks and purples. I use pinks occasionally along with reds, but I'm more inclined to use a green, blue, and purple palette. And since that's all green, what I'm here for is a vibe. But the formulas are really nice, and I feel like people kind of slept on those palettes. I think I heard whispers like here and there when they had a sale on it, but I don't just hear people talking about this brand. I'm like, well, why? Like, I need y'all to, you know, keep that love going for Colored Raine, because it's not like they had that one stumble, and it's like, if you can let all these other brands stumble and fall and do all this other stuff all the time, then, you know, I need you to give Colored Raine the same respect. Thank you. So the next one I have to talk about is the Secret Garden. This is actually an all matte palette. It's pretty interesting and unique with color stories. I would probably pair this with that the Wealthy Chic one I just showed you all, because I feel like it has some nice real chrome shimmers that could go with these. Or maybe you could pair this with the Safari Raine palette, just because I feel like it has shimmers that would match these tones better, since, you know, that palette is literally like oranges and greens, and then just a row of smoky tones. So if you don't like all matte looks and you already have Safari Raine, I feel like this could be a good add-on for you. Or if you just like all matte looks, I feel like this could be a good addition to your collection if you like more earthy tones, because to me this is definitely an earthy tone palette. The quality on this is really good, and I gave you all a really nice look on Instagram, and I think the brand actually liked my look with the palette, if I remember correctly. The last one I have to talk about is one of my all-time favorite colors. If you all know about me, and you know I like what? I like blue, I like green, and I like purple. So needless to say, when this Thunder palette came out, I had to add it to my collection. I had to add it to my collection. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, I need it, say less. Hand it over. I mean, look at this gorgeous color story. And this isn't like a lot of blue palettes I have in my collection. Now, I could see you saying it's somewhat similar to the Blueberry Muffin palette, but for an influencer like me who like has to try a lot of things out, can you not put your foot on my computer, boy? So an influencer like me who has to try a lot of different products out, and the fact that BH Cosmetics is in their transition or whatever, and I don't think they even make Blueberry Muffin anymore, I feel like this is a great alternative for people who didn't get a chance to get it and can't find it on where's that place called, at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I feel like this is a good alternative for you, because I know they still have, I think they still have the Paris one and the avocado one or whatever. I haven't been on their website, but I think someone said that those were the ones that were still on there, and that the Blueberry Muffin was gone. So I feel like this is a good alternative for the Blueberry Muffin. Now, it's not exact to the Blueberry Muffin, but I feel like it's close enough in tone to if you don't have the Blueberry Muffin and you wanted this type of color story, you could definitely get this, and it will definitely do a good job. It has great quality to it. It has a great color story, and y'all know I live for a blue moment. So I'm here for this blue palette. It is a whole vibe. And stop sleeping on Colored Raine, because I just showed you a few gorgeous color stories and palettes that I feel like just speaks to my soul and are great quality in spite of the quality that they had last time that people didn't think was that great. And you know, you need to check them out. So that ends this episode of brands you sleeping on that you shouldn't, and the feature was Colored Raine. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be best, girl. Bye.